Hi everyone, I'm Anthony Juliano, the chair of the Fort Wayne Trails Board, and as part of my attempt to cover all 120 miles of trail in 2020, we're hitting a segment today as part of the Winterval Festival. We're doing a bike ride, a winter bike ride. As you can see, there's a little bit of snow, and with me is Amy Hartzog from the city of Fort Wayne. Amy, tell us a little bit about your job, what you do, and what your work entails.
Sure, I'm the program manager for the City of Fort Wayne's Greenways and Trails department, and essentially that means once a trail's been built, I help with the maintenance of that. And really I'm a clearinghouse for maintenance issues, so I work closely with our parks department and our street department, sometimes city utilities, or the county highway department. Just depends on who's managing that trail, and we take care of any maintenance issues. I also work with a slew of volunteers that are super helpful in checking our trails. We have Greenway Rangers that check our trails on a weekly basis, and we also have an Adopt a Greenway program where folks do cleanups along our trails and then have some recognition out on the trails for those. In addition to that, we have trail counters, and so I manage that data, and also lead the Open Streets program that the city hosts annually.
Great, you mentioned the trail counters. Tell me a little bit about how the city uses that.
Sure. Well, we've got 15 trail counters that are spread out along our trails, and 15 trail counts really trail counters doesn't account for much when you think that we have 120 miles of trails in the greater Fort Wayne area. But on a monthly basis, I go out and I download that data from the trail counters, and we put that together just to get an idea of how the trails are being used, when they're being used, when they're not being used, and we can measure that annually. One thing that we noticed is like the DuPont Road Trail. When before DuPont Road, the low-grade underpass was constructed, it was very segmented out north, and so there was only so much trail use on the north side of DuPont. And Solomon Farm, while is our most used trail, once that opened up, it unlocked so much trail use. The count shot up, and it was pretty incredible. So that's neat to monitor, and it just lets us know that we're doing the right thing, building trails.
Yeah, well, that's great. So on a day like today, most people wouldn't think of going for a bike ride, but you're sort of famous for riding on days like this, days worse than this. I've seen you riding by in snow, in rain. Tell us a little bit about why you're so passionate about commuting by bike and why you're able to do it so often.
Well, I live close to work. I'm essentially a 5K away from work. And for many years, I was part of a one-car family. We recently expanded our fleet, and we have 2 vehicles. So last winter, I've got to tell you, I drove to work. 6 months out of the year, I was driving. This year, I've recommitted to bike commuting because I do live so close. And that 3-mile bike ride to work, 3-mile bike ride home, put some goggles on, dress appropriately, it's pretty easy to get through. And there are short miles that, the car is gonna pollute the air, and I don't need to add to that.
So tell us, if someone is brand new and they really haven't used the trails, in addition to equipping themselves for winter riding, just, when the weather gets better, what are some tips you have for people to use the trails and to get some fun and get some enjoyment out of trail use?
Well, first and foremost, I would recommend, if you're not familiar with our trail network, join us on Tuesday nights. We have the Trek the Trails program that starts the last Tuesday in April through the first Tuesday in October. We ride from a variety of different trailheads and explore the trails together as a group, so it's really exciting to learn our trail network with 30 to 80 to 200 people. It just depends on the weather and what everybody's got going on, but on average we have over 60 to 70 riders each Tuesday night. So I'd recommend that first and foremost.
Yeah, that's great. I did a Trek the Trails ride last year. It was actually the first time, and it was great fun, and saw some parts of the trail I probably wouldn't have otherwise seen. So today, tell us what we're going to be doing. Tell us what this ride is all about and what parts of the trail we're going to be hitting and what you have to say about it.
Well, the Winterval Festival is taking place today, and we are really excited to partner with the Fort Wayne Parks Department to host this trail ride. It's just another way to get people out being active in winter. And so this afternoon we're going to be riding from here at Lawton Park up to Johnny Appleseed Park. It's about a 4-mile trail ride one way, so 8 miles total. This is actually the first segment of trail that was ever constructed in the city. Our Parks Department built that. It was called the Little Turtle Bikeway. It actually was from Fryman Square up to Johnny Appleseed Park. And while it's been reconstructed over the years with some of our levees, it's essentially the same route, which is kind of exciting to be part of riding that.
Yeah, that's some interesting history, and it'd be cool to see it. So Amy, today's ride starts right by Science Central, right near Lawton Park. Tell us, if someone wants to do this ride, where would they park, where do they go, and where do they go from there?
Sure, well there are a lot of parking options, believe it or not, in downtown Fort Wayne and along our trail network. So here at Lawton Park, there are actually 3 separate parking lots where folks can park and then hit the trails.
And all free parking, correct?
All free parking,
all right, great.
Most definitely.
Yep.
And then not too far away is right by our filtration plant across from the old fort is another parking lot, and then up at Johnny Appleseed.
Great. If someone wanted to continue this ride a little longer, after we're in Johnny Appleseed Park, if you head a little further north, you can go under Coliseum to the Purdue University Fort Wayne campus. Where can you go from there?
To Schoaf Park, and it's a great ride. It'll double your distance. So instead of an 8-mile round trip ride that we're doing from Lawton to Johnny Appleseed, you can add another 8 miles by going up to Schoaf Park. And that's a beautiful section. It took a long time to develop because of just building challenges and the river being a challenge, but we've made it. You cross the river a few times, which is exciting, but I'd highly recommend that ride.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks, Amy, and let's go for a ride.
Let's do it.